121 Redwood
Drive, I guess.
Drive,
Yeah.
Richmond, Kentucky. Camera from D-Box entrance line, which is exit line to septic tank to inspect.
I don't know why they didn't. If they redone this 3 years ago, I don't know why they done it.
And it could be, you know, that, which I wouldn't see it settling that much, but sometimes the tank will settle and it'll fall the wrong way. They might just have this just up a little too high. And like I say, that pipe's just falling backwards rather than forward.
How far underground is that?
That is, let me see, locate. Go grab a locator and I'll tell you.
So what would you have to do to lower all that? Dig all that up, wouldn't you?
They would have to dig probably the D-Box and leach lines and drop it more than what it is, just because it's a little higher out there than it is right here. So right here at the back of the tank, it's 2 feet 5 inches.
All right. A little bit of water or something in there.
That's where it starts to hold water.
Yeah.
Marks that too. And honestly, if it was my house, I wouldn't be as worried about the exit side holding water as I would the entrance, because technically all your solids should stay in your tank, and you should really only get water coming to this side. It may cause you to have it pumped a little more often than you would if it was working perfectly, but like I say, it's not like it's. I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah, he said if it starts backing up in the house, then
It's Mike Sands.
Oh. Hello. Up in Richmond.
So it's not a big problem?
Septic tank checked out.
I mean, it's not
Look at the
ideal,
house.
but it's not anything that I think would cause you
Get off at exit
a big
87
crazy
on
amount of
Park
trouble.
Road.
So, but if you were
that's
to
right. The
go to
exit
have
go
it
to
fixed,
Eastern.
what kind of money are you talking?
We don't do
Turn
repairs,
left,
so
turn
I
left,
wouldn't know
go
what
eastern,
what
turn
that
right,
would
go west.
insist. But I don't know if they could maybe,
Yeah, up in Richmond.
you know, dig up this line that's coming in, this line that we're in right here,
Yeah,
and
it's
make
a-
it to where
it's
it's
an
got the
estate
correct
sale.
fall on it.
Yeah.
Or if they would have to replace, you know, this side of the system. That's something you'd have to actually consult with your plumber on and see what they would need to do to actually repair it. But from here up to where that first green flag is, it's got the wrong fall on it, so it's
Nice
holding
place,
full of
yeah.
water.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's about 3 miles off.
They don't freeze or anything like that in the...
no, it's too far below ground. You shouldn't
Okay,
have any
okay.
worry about freezing. But it's not ever good to hold water in a pipe. It's not what you want. But like I say, it's not
I'll holler at you when I get down.
like
there.
holding water from the house to the septic tank, because that's when you have backups inside the house
Yeah.
and all that stuff. This right here, it's
All right,
more or
Jim.
less
We'll holler
going
at
to
you.
keep more solids and more water in the tank rather than letting it actually
Well,
run out like it needs to.
So what I was going to say is that if it backs up in there, he said first clean out up there,
Yep.
and then that'll run to
To that.
close out.
Yep.
And then there's where you get it pumped at. So
And that right there is actually, that white cap is actually the center of that tank.
okay.
So the entrance side is actually about the distance from that white cap to this flag. On the other side, that's going to be your entrance side of the tank.
So actually, the septic tank is there.
Right.
And this is the drainage.
This is the drainage.
That's a 1,000-gallon tank, he said.
Right. So
Okay.
technically, only thing that should come here is the runoff water. So when you
don't
go,
want to be digging or running something over here.
not at all.
No. And
Keep
he
all
said,
your weight off of that, and then you can see where your
yeah,
leach
this
lines
green
are.
Here's where these lines go.
Yep.
Well,
Looks like-
he said 3 out of 4 were working.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to check them here in
Okay.
just.
And I'm going to run a camera down those and make sure those are good as well.
Well, we know somebody who knows them. This is like round.
Well, that's what I was telling him. They said 3 years ago. He said, well, evidently they just didn't get this pipe deep, or it settled. water.
Right. Something settled out, let it fall, just not enough gravel under it.
Because it is kind of bare up there.
Right.
Yeah, he said you won't get nothing to grow on top of that.
I can
because
see
of the
that.
heat off the tank.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, he said
it
you.
has heat on the tank.
Yeah, just
This is all new stuff.
it makes
that I
its own heat. You got sewage and all that trying to break down in there, so it's naturally trying to make its own
you
heat.
need to put that red X in there
Do it every single month.
every month.
Yep, once a month. A lot of times, I think you can get on like their website, have it sent in your mailbox, just like a
Because
subscription
there's
to
some
it.
in the garage.
There's some
they
in the
left
garage.
some
They
in the
left some.
garage.
Yep,
So-
you want to
so
do
put
that
it
at
in
night.
Each commode once a month.
Just one commode. So whatever the closest commode to this side of the house is, if there's
Yeah.
one on this side,
Yeah.
at night, right before you go to bed, drop it down the toilet, flush it. Then it gets to that septic tank and it can set in there and do what it needs to do before you run more water and actually dilute it down.
Okay.
Okay.
And it just keeps the right enzymes in that tank, and that helps break
And
down
do
those
you-
solids.
I know that used to, they would say, don't put toilet paper, don't do this, don't do that.
Toilet paper's fine. You don't want to do any kind of sanitary wipes, no type of feminine products. Make
Yeah.
sure people's not putting stuff like that in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Because then that's when you get into really the leaching system. If it were to leave the tank and make it to here, you get a bunch of wet wipes down in there, you never ever
Yeah,
get those
because
lines open.
we have a friend that's a plumber, and he said, just because they say flushable,
They are not.
Yeah.
That flushable wet wipes and your new water saver commodes are the #1 thing that keeps us in business.
Yeah.
Just because the EPA is cutting back the water usage, it doesn't push stuff as far. You have things stop up just due to build up,
Yeah.
and then everything's flushable. Everything's flushable, but none of it really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So
well, I know our grandson, when he was little, he flushed from one of those little plastic doctor kits, one of those little reflector
Yep.
things.
We
He
had
fl-
to take it
he
up,
flushed-
bust it completely out to get it out of
It
the.
was
Yep.
so weird because it went down that hole. Well, it stopped up. We didn't know what had happened. And then when we pulled it up, you know, and stuff. There it was. It went this way of it. Become this way.
Yep, and lodged in there.
And toothbrushes. He was bad about toothbrushes.
Yeah. I had a house the other day. It was actually Mark Stoops' house, the UK football coach. His son would go in there and clean his ears out with Q-tips and throw his Q-tips in the toilet and flush them.
No.
And then what it done is it got back in the bottom of that commode, you know, that little part, and it was like a spider web.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I've seen my granddaughter clean the hairbrush out and put the hair.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I said, I don't know that you're supposed to do that. And so, yeah.
Exit line from septic tank to D box holds water and about 90% of line. Marked green flag just past backside of tank where line begins to hold water and holds water up to distribution box entrance line. Camera distribution line on left if looking at home at this time. Line is holding a little bit of water in the bottom. This fill line does hold a small amount of water from D box to approximately 4 feet out. Does not appear it is causing any issue, and line appears to be working correctly. camera front leach line directly in front of entrance line to inspect. Another distribution box at this point, as you can see, located and marked with green flag. Septic tank, leach field looks good. Multiple distribution boxes. And none of the other lines other than one to right are holding any water. As far as leach lines, leach line to the right is holding water for 2 to 3 feet and then levels out due to incorrect fall. No issues with this beyond that point. Entrance line to distribution box also holds water for majority of line up to tank.